I was recently lucky enough to be invited to an event put on by Creekstone Farms in Houston called Cure Camp. Now this was hosted by Bryan Butler from Sullivan Times, somebody who I know very well, who I used to work with, and also Michael Sullivan, aka Sully, aka the Reverend of Fat, who works for Creekstone, who used to be a chef and charcutier and butcher at many different places, probably most notably at Blackberry Farm in Tennessee. Sully is a master craftsman, as is Bryan. Here he is actually breaking down a full chuck roll. But I was aware of Bryan's talents prior to this event. I was not aware of Sully and all he brought to the table regarding charcuterie and dry aging. Here he is making some blood sausage. It was an incredible event, and I'm just going to let you guys watch some of the footage from here because I learned so much. I have some screenshots of some slides they have later in the video, and I hope you guys enjoy this video I took from Cure Camp.
With pork is the king. Pork changes flavor and texture throughout the whole animal.
And this cut has become much more popular to do it this way, with the long bones like you're seeing in beef a lot more now. Everything from single ribs to double bone chops, or bunny chops I like to call them. I know this shape very well. I'm going to turn up just a little bit here. And you can see, you can just see that there's something going on there that's worth saving.
I mean, this is something that's beautiful. You would clean all this membrane out. And again, he's just following that natural seam around, and it's giving you that natural shape, like prosciutto is so known for. We remove these glands, especially on an animal this big. Those glands, some people will go ahead and use those, but they're very bitter. They're sour. I mean, remember, they're a filter. Glands are filters. So it's processing, always remove the glands, especially in the jowl. Typically, you would not cure one this big.
It's a working muscle the whole life of the animal, especially for a grazer. They're constantly lifting up, looking at a lot of blood flow to these muscles, which adds a lot of flavor.
This is 2.5 grams per kilo of meat. Your average large egg is 50 grams. 50 grams of blood replaces 50 grams of eggs. Equal parts. So we puree the liver, pass it through Tammy, get rid of all that little bits, and this is going to be our binder for our pate. Myosin is trapped inside the cells of your pork, your beef, your grind, okay? So that myosin, what I'm doing, that salt is extracting it out of the cells and it's creating binding power. It's like natural meat glue. So what I want to do, again, I'm activating it, incorporating all that cream, beer, why not? Skin on chicken thighs, or 20% skin to chicken, is your perfect blend for fat to lean. That is what makes chicken moist. You take the skin off, you cook it, it's dry. Skewers grill them whole, okay? So see, this is now ready for ferment.
Did you pH any of that yet, Paul?
I did.
100%
Yeah, 100% black. I waited till all the crawfish and everything was cooked, added the blood, mixed it, then added my curing salt.
This is heavier than a rib roast would be, but you get a price point that is very, very interesting to customers who wanted to do something dry for Christmas.
The more fat I have in it, the better yield I have on the back end.
They also brought in a famous pasta chef from Italy. He actually has a couple restaurants in LA, but he was teaching us all about how to make pasta by hand. Something I've been really wanting to get into for a while, that I've been kind of just barely dipping my toe into the water on is making fresh pasta by hand. But watching a true craftsman do anything really well, doing what they do really well, is very interesting. And for me, that definitely includes watching somebody make pasta like this. Look at that. It looks like a tapestry. Looks like a straight up drape hanging from the ceiling there. And then he's got all the nice long strings he just tears off by hand. This was Chef Francesco Allegro from Rosso Blu and Capri Club in LA. Here he is making some tortelloni. He'll probably skewer me if I didn't know the difference between those, but same thing, every single piece made by hand, really interesting. One of the coolest parts was when Sully told us that eggs and blood have similar binding powers. Francesco actually made some blood pasta, so that's some blood pasta. They cut it up and they served it, and it was amazing. Obviously, all the food was amazing, but the blood pasta didn't taste like anything too weird. Didn't taste like blood. It wasn't really irony. This gentleman was from Prosciutto di Parma. They gave us some really good prosciutto. So here are some little slides that I found really interesting, that I found interesting enough to take videos of during Cure Camp. But what a very cool event. There's just so much information packed into such a small amount of time. A bunch of other cool barbecue people and other non-barbecue people there. It was a lot of fun.